Hello, everybody. I'm Dale Pinkert. I'm your anchor, facilitator, moderator here in FX Street's live analysis room. So we have the potential of a turnaround Tuesday, something I talked about yesterday. Here's the most important chart to me. Let me share my screen. It's really the linchpin right now, and really US dollar yen did not reflect the extreme weakness that we had yesterday in S&Ps. And we've made a graveyard save here at 19.25. So this is going to be the key to whether or not turnaround Tuesday turns into something or it's just a little brief hold. I think we have to at least recapture 2050, but we have a nice 4-hour candle reversal here. And if today's lows hold, I still think there's a possibility for 122, 123. So it hasn't proved it yet, but right now we could say at least the yen is holding. There was some decent buy interest there. They picked off some stops here. I'm sure anyone that was long here is gone now. So held the triangle bottom line. So that's significant to me. Euro looks to be giving up the ghost again. We couldn't even take out the 112, the 113 level. I believe Rob's number on Rob Kane's is 1220, so we're back under the 1220 level. So it's looking vulnerable. Maybe we're headed now for a channel line here. Which will now be coming in right a little above 1120, 1130-ish. So that's what I see so far this morning. We also have a very good interview with Werner Reichart at the Bank Trader. He trains bank traders. So he trades institutional people, I believe retail. It's an 18-month course. And here's the trainer of trainers. So looking forward to our conversation with Werner. Let me just check in on the page, see who's around. Hello, Fab, Vedran, Ikius. Hello, Paul, Beans. I see a new handle. Hello, Khalid. I believe we have a new handle in here. Everyone welcome Jenny to our community. Hello, Alien. How you feeling? You're back. So you did my back exercises help you and now you're better? Everyone welcome Jenny. Make her feel comfortable in our community. How about a large welcome for Jenny? I hope you're feeling better. Hello, Ikius, Mauricio, Ziggy. Ziggy had me on a horse today. Ziggy tweeted a horse thing. Let me show you guys. So Ziggy has me riding a horse, which for me is not easy. I told Ziggy I had surgery there. So here I am, Ziggy put me on a horse. Dale the jockey with loads of $100 bills weighing down the horse, but I could still win. I could beat this guy. Thank you, Ziggy, for the nice tweet. You made me laugh again. How you doing, Jax? What's new, buddy? So let's go. Okay. Did you try those? You probably didn't understand them as I was texting them to you, but they've worked for me. I've had lower back issues and they worked for me. So what's everyone thinking in here? Euro, was this it in Euro? And we're going to head back towards 1120, or is there another wave to the upside that could take the Euro back towards this range, back towards 1350? Or are we going to fail from here? So I think there's a decent possibility we're just going to head back down to this trend line here. Which is which? What do you mean? What do you mean, Jax? How am I supposed to understand a question like that? Which is which? So Canada diverged a little bit here. I'd like to see it do a little bit more work up here before I attempt a short. Okay. I could do a Skype call with you later and explain them to you if you'd like. Okay, Jax is breaking the ice with a look at Aussie yen here. And Jax is using Rankos. Jax is becoming a Ranko man. Are these Rankos or candles? Kind of has a Ranko look to me. Is this combination Ranko? Aussie yen, nice recovery. Everyone thank Jax for his look at Aussie yen. Thank you, Jax. Oh. Okay. Now I understand. You love teasing me. Everyone thank Jax for his Aussie yen look. Thank you, Jax. Here, Jax, maybe this will help you tell the difference. Now, does this look like a horse? Come on. Can't you tell the difference between a rock star and a horse? There's a rock star right there, buddy. Hi, Rick. Okay, so Jax is long AJ. What's the rest of the community thinking in here? Hi, veteran. Khalid, how are you? Jenny, how did you hear about us? Hi, Rob. Ickius. Good. Take half. Get paid today. So, Alien, what are you thinking in here? Ricardo, what are you thinking in here? I know Khalid said yesterday he was waiting for 151 in the pound for a potential buy. This line's coming in at 50.50. Hi, veteran. Something from Alien. The cat. So you think we're peaking right here? Okay. Alien's got his cell zone. Maybe I'm just trying to be too perfect. Maybe we go 134.70. But that's a nice look. And then back here, 126. Well, crude's acting like that could happen. Everyone thank Alien for his USD CAD look. Could be a nice potential shorting opportunity here. Thank you, Alien. Everyone thank Alien. Thank you, buddy. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm getting messages. So anyway, I wanted to show everyone this guy asked me, this alien, tried to make a living with a $10,000 account. So he asked me, Dale, can I trade for a living with 10K? And I said, yes, if you want to live beneath an underpass. So be careful out there, alien traders trying to make a living with a $10,000 account. Okay. Hi, Rob. 2829. Here's Jackson's Canada. Jax is saying be careful. Here's Jax's look. Thank you, Jax. So what are you saying? Oh, as long as we're above 33.70, be careful being short. Okay. That's prudent. Thank you, Jax. I want to thank Jax for his view that as long as we're trading above 133.70. Hi, Jay. I'm doing okay. Everyone thank Jax. Aliens bearish euro. Looking for another run. The 1320. Okay. Thank you, Alien. That's plausible. Thank you, guys. Keep them rolling. So there's the RSI trend line on cable right here. Maybe on this break towards 150.50. If that happens, we're still going to diverge above 30. Premature to buy cable here, I think. Third drive line coming in now at 150.50. If you see it there, give me a Y. You don't have to agree, but that's my view. There's a good rule of thumb from Ziggy on capital money management. Veteran saying short the guppy here. Got a little bounce. I think this is a bounce Pegasus was looking for. Thank you, Veteran. I'd like to see one more high up here. Alien, I'd like to see 4.5 or your 460 level and the RSI diverge one more time here on the 1 hour. Yes and no to what? I forgot what I asked. So see what I'm saying here, Alien? I'd like to see it go to your 61.8 level, that fib level. And this time the hourly RSI should be under 70. So that's the conditions that I'm looking for a top pick in USD CAD. I don't have them yet. Give me a Y if everyone understands that. We do have a divergence between this high and this high, but still it was a little over 70. I'm thinking I like to see a couple of divergences and at least one under 70. So if we rally to 460, that would be a better setup for me based upon my RSI work. All right, here's Jax's US dollar Swiss. Taking a shot here. Kind of lines up with what Alien is thinking in the euro the other way. Thank you, Jax. You think we already had a third drive? Can you show me, Rob? I don't see it on the 1 hour. We didn't take this low out yet. See that, Rob? We didn't take that low out. We're on the verge of doing it. I don't think we've done it yet. Okay. Thank you, Alien. Everyone doing okay? We have any other new handles, new people joining our mastermind community today? Does it look like it? Everyone okay, okay, okay. S&Ps are already fading. Oh, that's no problem, Rob. You could be right. It could just turn right here. I'm just a professional guesser. So I'm not saying I'm not going to miss the S&Ps here, guys, but I just want to show you one thing that makes me a little suspicious about this drop. I'm not saying that we're not going to wash out under 1820. This may just be a temporary bounce and then we flush again. My dream scenario is that we get something like this from in here and have a short squeeze into mid-October, but it's not looking likely. But my point being, we're within 1% of the low in the S&P. Really? Okay. So look at this. We're within 1% or a day away from the flash crash low. But look at volatility in comparison. So we're way beneath where we were, okay? In fact, this was the day before the flash crash. We're only back to here. So when you consider the S&Ps and what the VIX has done, there's still not a lot of fear. So maybe this is a delayed reaction. But when you compare the S&Ps are within 1% of their low, even if you ignore the flash crash, we're way off these levels of 35. So just something I noticed. Abe's on US TV. So we also have Martin Armstrong's date of October 1st coming up in a couple of days. And we have the NFP Friday. That's going to be wild in this environment. Okay, so we're going to see if the yen is going to break down here today. That's going to be the key. Right when I brought up the yen, veteran selling it here. Maybe you get your breakdown, veteran. Under last night's low, you would think 118 would be the next stop. I'm sure aliens bearish the yen here, aren't you? Rick, where are you at on the yen? Paul, what are you thinking? Jay, is everyone tired today? Okay, Rick showing what he tweeted me earlier on Twitter that we're right at a decision point in the guppy too. So I'm sure the yen is going to be part of this equation here. Do or die from here, Ricardo. I want to thank Rick for this technical look at the guppy. Thank you, Rick. Aussie. Now crude looks like it wants to fail. Gold still looks lousy. I don't know what I did with the Aussie chart. There we go. So it held the previous lows. Nice divergence here, but we did not take out this low. Maybe back to 70.60 71.20 possible. That's a good observation. You're right. It's tested it too many times. Anyone else have a view on the Aussie for who asked for it? Rob? Maybe some fib retracements here, Rob, from after the Fed, right here, to this halfway back is around 71.50, 38, 70, 70 on the 4 hour. One hour, 70, 75. You're welcome. Glad to serve. Okay. Veteran has an opinion. 73.50, huh? Wow. So veteran's looking for quite a pop here. There's your daily. Okay, so he's thinking this is A and this is B, and now we're going to get a C to 73.5. Okay. Plausible. Stock index is fading before they've even opened. People are selling into it. So that's a pretty bullish call. I really don't have a feel for things this week. Last week I did. This week I don't. That's starting to look interesting for a potential short. There's your weekly, diverging on the weekly. Need another high on the daily. Is this confirmed? Confirmed on the 4 hour. Okay, thank you, Alien. So good collaboration, guys. Yeah, it's not following stocks yet. Okay, yeah, it could go either way. Thank you, Rick. Nice look on the yen. You have a little symmetrical triangle working right now. Everyone think Ricardo? Thank you, Rick. Here's Jax's view. Thank you, Jax. I want to thank Jax for his Aussie view. Everyone thank Jax. Everyone doing okay? Khalid, you're quiet. Euro's trying to turn. Right here. Good eye, alien. Pound just doesn't have it. Yen's looking ugly again. S&Ps are lower. They open lower after trying to turn before the New York Open. New lows. New lows coming for S&Ps now. Yeah, we have to recapture 1900. Probably not going to happen. $18.35. Thank you, Rick. What a great short it was Friday on that yelling pop. I didn't feel good that day. Thank you, Rick. Stand by for our interview with Werner Reichart at the Bank Trader coming up in about 40 minutes. Canada's trying to make another push here to the upside. Hi, Fame. How are you? Ickius, how's it going? Pound still feels heavy. Everyone doing all right? Jim Cramer saying we're already in a bear market. Booyah to Cramer. Saying we're already in a bear market. Booyah. So Carl Icahn put out a very bearish video yesterday talking about a possible catastrophe in the stock market. Jim Cramer's bearish. The whole world's bearish right now. And the consensus can be right. I'm just pointing it out that there's, in a matter of a month, a ton of bears. We were already at some extreme sentiment readings before the decline. A lot of bearishness going into this decline, and sentiment-wise, that's only increased. Which doesn't make me a bull, but I can't rule out a short squeeze with everyone looking for an October crash. And again, I could be wrong. It's just not my type of trade. I did it after the Fed and scalped it. It worked. I didn't marry it. So if it happens, it won't be the first time that a market goes without tail pink. I just have a hard time with all this company being bearish now. I was talking 1800. Yeah, I've seen 170 calls for the guppy. So months ago, I was talking 1800 S&Ps, a 30 to 50 VIX, and it's already happened. So I can now make cases for 1720, but I would think there'd be a rally first. There's Jacks. Looking for a possible top in EG. Breaking the pivot here. Thank you, Jacks. Everyone thank Jacks. Still in the uptrend. Thank you, Rick. Nice telescopic view in US dollar yen. Ricardo. NASDAQ down. Yen looking heavy. Real heavy. Nice call on the euro, Alien. Did you buy it at 112? Didn't quite get to 1180. But good bias, Alien. Hi, Luimo. How are you? Put your pom-poms away, veteran. It's just another trade. So if you get too excited about when you win, you might get too dejected when you lose. So try not to get too ecstatic over a good trade. Just try and consider it a good trade, just another trade instead of something real special. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I think there's one more push up in EG actually. I was looking for 440, 450. I'm looking for one more push up. Thank you, Rick. Canada. Thank you, Rick. Everyone thank Rick for the Aussie look. Okay, Luimo. Good advice, Sig. I'm not saying to leave it alone. I'm just saying don't. Good one. Okay, Ziggy just texted what I'm saying. Thank you, Ziggy. That's what I'm saying. Alexander Elder does it better. So we got this new high in Canada here, leaving a little bit of a wick. We have a non-confirmation in Canada right here. Just want to bring it to everyone's attention. We did make new highs. Look at the RSI. So this could be it. Non-confirmation on the 1 hour. You don't have to agree with me, but give me a Y if you see the divergence here on this last push to a new high in USD CAD. At the minimum, I wouldn't be long anymore. At the minimum, I would not be long Canada anymore. Give me and you see the non-confirmation in USD CAD. The naked banjo player, Jacks Are Wild. The nude banjo player. I like it, Luimo. Good one. Snaga. Right, veteran? Snaga. Yeah. Euro's tough. Pound's dead in the water. NASDAQ down another 20. Yeah. Yen could not get through 120. Still have a higher low. Yen, but it's up to the yen to save the market here today. Maybe you buy it here with stops under last night's lows. If this candle can turn. USD CAD up. I don't know. That's a pretty nice divergence. If you get a reversal candle under, and we take out Jax's pivot of 33.70, I think you could declare at least a short-term top in USD CAD. Give me a Y if you understand that. You don't have to agree. But if we get a negative candle here in Canada, and I pointed it out about 20 pips ago, and we take out 33.60, you can declare a top. So this was pretty glaring divergence here on the 1 hour. And the 4 and the 4. Okay, that's what makes a market. I have no problem with people having an opposite view to me. I used to, I don't anymore. Depending upon your time frame, hello SMT. Depending upon your time frame, someone could be long and short the same market at the same time and both be right or both be wrong. Anyway, stick around for our interview with a guy who trains institutional bank traders. Should be a nice interview. And we're about to get a divergence in EG up around, if we rally another 30, 40 pips, I would take the shot. A lot of people getting very bullish EG here. I think there could be a pullback setting up. Pretty good. Yeah. So maybe we go the green line first. Where's the green line? 50-50? Where's your green line come in, Ricardo? Everyone thank Rick for his pound look. A couple of different channels. I'd be curious where that red line, that green line comes in on that channel. Thank you, Rick. Can you tell us where that green channel line comes in? There's Jack's call on the yen. He's buying it here. Just looking for a little scalp. Thank you, Jax. So do you know where your green channel line comes in, Rick? On that pound daily? So we're about to have that reversal in USD CAD. Pretty negative candle. Hope I helped some people out here on this USD CAD. Alien came in with the idea. I thought we needed one more high. The divergence was pointed out. If we have a reversal candle here, because I'm looking for a pop in the crude oil, it's not late. So you could probably short it right here or some type of retrace with stops over the high. Today's high for money management. How are you, SMT? Okay. Here comes the yen. So I pointed out a couple of things. A few minutes ago, I said you could have bought it here with stops under the low, trying to turn the yen, trying to turn Canada. Thank you, Ricardo. I think we're looking at the high in USD CAD. Hope is good, just not in trading. Hope is necessary, but eliminate it from your trading plan. 15 minutes till our interview with Werner Reichart at the Bank Trader. Werner Reichart. So you didn't get a reversal candle on the 1 hour in USD CAD. Maybe Veteran's going to be right. I'll be back in 5, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions today and your chart work. Okay, I'm back. Not yet. Trying to turn the pound again. Dollar looks to be weakening again. Everyone okay? Well, gold shares are popping pretty good. WTI looks like it wants to come out of here. Yeah, nice bounce in gold from 1125. Everyone okay? There's something wrong with my chat page. I'm only showing 3 people in here. I'm not getting everyone who's here. I'm not seeing you. S&P's just reversed. It's got a little reversal in the S&P, so turnaround Tuesday looks like it could be manifesting in the S&Ps. Canada wants to make another run. Maybe we get one more shot up here. Didn't quite get to Alien's target of 3460. There's the look on it. Morning, Liam. How are you, buddy? If you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of pips, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. So remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. I hope you feel better, Alien. Song done by Eddie Fisher and Perry Como. Anyone counting their blessings today? If you are, what is it? What are you counting? Yeah, I agree. So maybe it's going to try it again. Thank you, Rick. Here's Rick's look on CAD. Back to 32. Thank you, Ricardo. Everyone thank Rick for his CAD look. Okay. Jax's look at Euro Yen. Thank you, Jax. Everyone thank Jax. Veteran wants to buy at 34, so you got long at 34. You might have a nice scalp. Hello, everybody. I'm Dale Pinkert. We're a few minutes away from an interview with someone who trains institutional traders at the bank, Werner Reichart. His Twitter handle is @thebanktrader. We're all beginning to stalk potential tops in USD CAD up around 34.40 to 60, beginning to diverge here. We do have a turnaround Tuesday occurring in the yen. We made a graveyard save here at 119, getting a little bit of a turn in the S&Ps after being lower. Pound's trying to hold this support. I'm still looking for 51. And the euro acting pretty good. I think that we're going to make a move towards these highs. And I just want to show you guys what we do here in our community, because I don't claim to be a trading messiah. So it gives me an edge for me to work with everybody here. And we share our ideas through screenshots. Here's a look at Ricardo's take on USD CAD, that we could be approaching a pretty significant area here. Right up here around 34.60, there's some confluence with fib and return lines. Also, Jax has been helping us out today with a lot of screenshots based upon his trade. Here's his look in Euro Yen. So it's my opinion that LAR is a great place to do some intelligence gathering, to get the views vis-a-vis charts, screenshots. I feel grateful to be surrounded by traders better than me. You rise to the level of who you're hanging out with, and we've attracted a pretty good crowd here. So I invite everyone that's seeing me right now. I guess I wasn't showing my charts. I need to screen share here. So here's a look that we have from Jax on Euro Yen, and Ricardo's work is saying we're stalking a USD CAD top. There's some confluence here. So this is how we communicate with each other. Of screenshots. with this, we're able, rather than to text our ideas, to graphically show what we're looking at in potential scenarios. So I do invite everyone to join our community and take a look at some of the work that members of our community share. Ricardo showing this major support at 51 and pound dollar. And I believe we're only a couple of minutes away from being able to speak to Werner Reichart. I'm looking forward to speaking to Werner. So stand by for our interview. So just to give everyone a feel, that's what we do in here. I believe that you're better off collaborating rather than isolating yourself. Some people don't want to hear or see anything else. I used to be that way. I've actually believed that you have an edge in a mastermind community, and that's what we provide here after 2.5 years of doing this together. Stand by for our interview with Werner Reichart. Everyone doing okay? We have philosophers in here. See you, Rob. Don't confuse your path with your destination. Just because it's stormy now doesn't mean you aren't headed for sunshine. Good to have hope in your life. Just don't include it in your trading. Here's a classic. Luimo says, worrying does not, it empties today of its strength. So I believe that we have Werner with us now. There we go. Hello, Werner. Very nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you doing?
Can you hear me? Good.
Yes.
I appreciate you spending some time with us today, and I've told people a bit about you, that you trained institutional traders, and you have a course that's very demanding. I see a lot of people believe that you could just, take a seminar, webinar, and, in 2 months be able to trade. And I noticed that you have an 18-month program, and that's rigorous. It's almost like going to a university to learn how to be a trader, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I completely disagree with the whole you can learn how to trade Forex just online, even on 3-day courses or seminars or webinars. It takes time. I mean, I get people profitable maybe in 3 months, but it takes time.
Okay, so I'm always interested in the beginning phases of a journey of a trader, because that's the most treacherous time, and you're now paying it forward by teaching people. How was it for you at the beginning, Werner? How did you get involved in the industry, and what mistakes did you make along the way, and did you find mentors? What was the beginning of your journey like, and who do you blame for you getting into this industry?
Well, I actually started early in high school. I was always interested in the market, watching movies like, trading movies like The Boiler Room and the old Wall Street Money Never Sleeps. And then I started.
Did you ever work in a boiler room? Did you ever work in a boiler room?
No, I never did.
Oh, you're fortunate to not have had that experience. Okay, go ahead.
So yes, so I started teaching myself and reading a lot of books. I read recently. I read the Fun Top Super Traders, and also the Alexander Alder's new book. And I read similar books back in the day, and I actually started trading on commodities and indices, and then I started on Forex because I made a lot more return. And
Okay.
my first account I blew, obviously.
Okay.
But I knew where I went wrong. It was emotional trading. That's a big thing.
How about too much leverage? How about too much leverage?
Not really. My risk was fine. It's just emotions and the psychology behind trading that completely messed with me. But after about 2 years, I started trading like a robot, basically, where my emotions, I completely locked out emotions with trading, and also I started screen watching a lot less. The less time I spent on my screen, the more profit I actually made. And then on my first account,
So is that how you overcame? Is that how you overcame your emotions? I want to have a two-way conversation here. So, is that how you overcame your emotions? Because I know sometimes I'm better off walking away from my screen because, or if I'm going to manage a trade, to go to a longer time frame, because if you're looking at shorter time frames, you're going to see things that are going to make you want to take off your position. So is that how you overcame your emotional issues?
Exactly. Just stepping away, taking a step back. And the biggest thing was actually self-confidence. When I did the analysis and I know it's a good trade and I entered it, I just have to step away from the trade, because then you start, if you keep looking at the trade, you keep seeing things that influences your decision, and but what about if this happens, what about if that happens, and you know your analysis is good, so stick with the position you entered. There's a reason why you entered it.
Right. So challenge the market to prove you wrong. Have the attitude like a samurai. Okay, Mr. Market, I've done my work. I challenge you to prove me wrong and take out my stop. That attitude.
Exactly.
You have to be a warrior then. If you have any fear and you have fear and doubt and you're trading, you're right. Emotionally, you're going to be afraid of missing things. And when you're in a trade, you're going to begin to doubt your analysis.
That's 100%. And also a big problem, which I see in the beginning with a lot of traders, and I saw in the beginning with me as well, is not doing proper stop loss analysis. I mean, your stop loss is, for me, the most important part of a trade, and you have to place your stop loss so defensive, so you know market is going to have a hard time reaching it. The less you lose, obviously, the more you win.
What's your average stop loss that you teach people, or is there even such a thing? And it depends upon the instrument.
No, there is no average stop loss. You have to do analysis on where is the best stop loss. Either it can be 100 pips away or it can be 300 pips away. It just depends on where the best place to put it. I mean, I always try and put it at a place where if my stop loss gets hit, then I know that trade was no longer valid and the whole trend of the market had to change for my stop loss to be hit.
Okay, so definitely no money stops, market stops. Let me ask you this. This happens to a lot of people, and I think it's because their stop loss placement is too tight. And I say, if you can't be wrong for a day, how can you be right for a week? Do you ever experience, it sounds like you've mastered that, but a lot of people have a problem, and you're talking about it right there, of being right the market, wrong the trade because of stop loss placement.
Yes, and I see it a lot. I recently trained actually a banker. He works at a very big investment firm, and that was one of their traders from the institution's biggest problem, is that they were risking too little pips wise in stop losses, and then because they just went on, I want to risk 1%, let me put my stop loss here, but they never did.
They're trading money, not markets.
Yeah, they're trading money, and that is the big problem. But for example, 2 months ago, I entered a position on crude oil, and for 3 weeks, my trade went in profit, out of profit, in profit, out of profit. and a lot of people I showed the trade, and they were like, but I would never be able to stay in for that long. And I'm like, no, if you did the analysis, you know that trade is good, you have to leave it, even though it stays between your entry and your stop loss for 3 weeks, and until it hits your stop, your trade is still good. And I ended up making 1,200 pips on that when it dropped down all the way from $62 down to 51.
Okay, that's a great example. So, you know, they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. I'm getting an echo here. Do you know how to share your screen, and perhaps we could take a look at your setup, and perhaps you could talk to us about what you teach and what you might be seeing here in the markets. A screen share is up on the left-hand corner. It's in a green box with an arrow, and you click that, and then it'll give you different screens to share if you want to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Continue. But I do believe that, there you go. I'm seeing my charts right now. Can everyone see? Maybe it's Mauricio that's just to make the change. Showing the yen, which I think made a nice graveyard save today. So, waiting for charts. There you go. I saw them for a second, and then they popped up. There we go. Okay. So here we are. We're looking at Euro USD. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about what your red lines, what they represent, and
okay. So
what kind of methodology.
I don't really use any oscillators or conventional indicators. I just actually added that support and resistance now because I thought it would be a bit easier to explain. But basically what I use is just price action. So it's just the waves of the market, Fibonacci, candle info, previous support and resistance is a big thing. Now, so what I do is when I do my analysis, I always go and place myself these green blocks, which you can see, which I call my buy zones and my sell zones. And I do that purely looking at previous support and resistance levels, where the market has stopped before, Fibonacci levels, and things like that. If you can, let's just look at the pound US dollar chart. Yes. So I also have a date on there, so I know which date, when I actually did the analysis. If you take my previous trade here, so you can see I had this green buy block. So as soon as market enters my green buy block where I did analysis on, I know that's my time to buy. And then I also go and do analysis on where I place my take profit over here, which I came out. And now you can see I have a new sell zone. So now I know if market comes back up here, that is where my next sell trade will be.
Okay. And it's based on your sell zones, buy zones are based on pivots and fibs.
Yeah, basically majority previous support and resistance.
Okay.
And Fibonacci, but it's all, I do it all myself. So yeah, I had a big sell.
What time frames do you focus on, and do you teach people to swing, position, trade, scalp? Do you do all three, or I know Jack Schwager, who wrote Market Wizards, says one of the most important things for a trader to find out is what trading style, and to me that would also be time frames that suit their personality. So what suits your personality, Werner?
I do train in scalping and intraday trading. It's not my favorite. I do more swing trading, long-term trading, where I use daily, weekly, and 4-hour charts for analysis. So like this chart we're on now, the Australian dollar, US dollar is a 4-hour trade, but the analysis was done on a daily chart. So you can see where all my previous sells were. So it's all, I stay in the trades for quite some time. I mean, this Australian US
so
trade.
You're still short Aussie, even though we're starting to pop here a little bit.
Yes, it was just going to be a retrace, I rate, and then I'm still going to stay in until we break this low. Um, so it's all similar. It's here you can see, even though the market has retraced back up, I will not close my position even with the sell here. I will let it run down to my take profit, which I think is down here somewhere.
Okay,
So,
short silver.
so you just be patient. I don't exit trades just because of a retrace. You just stay in.
Okay. And do you teach people to trade maybe a couple of lots so that you could take partial profits, and do you trail your stop loss when you're in a lead, or you just leave it in the same place?
Oh, well, you trade every time frame individually. So let's say you're in a daily sell trade, but you see a great buy on a 1 hour. You trade the 1 hour buy, even though you are still in your daily sell. So you try and make profit out of every way if the market
Interesting.
makes.
Okay, interesting. So you need an FX broker that's going to let you be simultaneously long and short.
Yes, we don't have the problem with the FIFO, so
Okay.
it's a bit
I
easy.
think I think some you can't do that with. Is that correct?
Yes, you can't.
Okay. Um, so interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the course, and how people would get involved with you on the course, or perhaps some market projections. The big story right now is, do you trade stock indexes, Werner?
Well, since I started with the doing courses and working at Forex Varsity, since the company started, I haven't traded stocks all that much. Just in the beginning of the year, I bought a couple of Swiss stocks. Actually, I bought Syngenta,
Mhm.
Roche, and Credit Suisse, all after the unpegging of the franc, and I made I think it was about 100, just under 100% return in a couple of months. But since then, I haven't opened one stock position.
Okay, so if I'm reading you correctly, on your daily trade in gold, you got short above 1160, you wrote it down to 1100, and you're still short.
Still short.
Okay. See, a lot of people would have a lot of difficulty not taking $70 out of the market and then watching it rally 50 more. What's your target? If you held
Um,
it, you must be looking, because it never got to your buy zone. That's why you stayed with it for this rally.
yes, but I obviously traded on a 1 hour chart. I did enter a buy. So that's the thing, because I trade every time frame individually. I did make money off the retrace up now, because I was
Okay.
trading that on a smaller time frame. So the daily buys, the daily sell is going to be held until it either gets back into my buy zone at the bottom or hits my stop loss, but I will still continue trading the 1 hour chart and 4 hour chart, however it tells me. So on 1 hour chart, I bought 2 days ago and made profit.
Okay. So that's an interesting twist. You're one of the first people I've interviewed that do that. So that you could have a position trade on, a swing trade on, and if you go to your shorter term time frames, you could trade counter to both of those positions, and therefore you're really not giving back everything. You're trading different swings depending upon time frame. That's a
Yeah.
very interesting approach.
Um,
I've never heard anyone do that before. It's probably because of the restrictions most people have with their FX broker to be able to do it.
yes, I know. I know in the US it's a big problem, but in Europe and well, basically the rest of the world, we don't have that strict laws. And for us, being short and long at the same time is fine. If I was not allowed to do that, I probably would have a completely different way of trading.
Right.
But people we train and the way we trade. This is what I've done many years of back testing on, and which is the best way to do it.
And the course and your training, does it happen in person where people come to a physical location, or do you do it online?
No, it is actually nothing is online. It is all done physically in person. We start off with a 3-day intense course, where you get taught everything about the market, how it works, about leverage, margin, lot sizes, all the basics. And then we have 3 classes a week for 18 months.
Okay. All right. So they have to be hardworking people. You know, I think the success, or at least the popularity of signal services, are people just not either having the time or just not willing to put in the time. You know, I say you can't learn experience. It only happens with the passing of time. In our business, screen time. So people come to your physical location. What country again?
We are based in, we actually based in the UK, South Africa, and Nigeria.
Wow, okay. So Nigeria, I see a lot of traders on Twitter from Nigeria. Kind of an oil-based economy. Is there growth in that area for you to have a place in Nigeria?
Yes. The thing is, there's a lot of disposable income. People's got money there. It's the fastest growing economy in Africa, and and the thing is, there's no such thing as credits, so you can't go to the bank and ask for a loan. Everyone has disposable income, so a lot of people have a lot of money to trade with and get some interest on it, on their capital.
Okay. And as far as your website, if you'd like to show it, this would be a good time. I know your Twitter handle is @thebanktrader. So people, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's expensive, isn't it? What's it take? What's tuition on your course?
It's actually not that expensive. It works out to probably about 1,700 US
For 18 months of training.
for 18 months.
Yeah, you're right. It isn't for that kind of amount of trading. Also, in your bio, you told me that only 15% of your company's revenue is generated from training people. The other 85% is generated from profits in the market. So you want to tell us a little bit about your performance, etc. I'm gonna hype you today, Werner. So take advantage of it.
Yes, that is actually correct. That is why we charge so little for the course, because our profits are generated through trading. Because every good trader we train, we take on for ourselves, and he becomes a trader.
After people take your course, you set them up like a prop trader and give them equity to trade, and they get a percentage of profits.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what we do. So we've had some bad experiences where we've given students a whole bunch of capital, and they go and blow most of it over 6 months, and so we've had some bad experiences. But we always try and screen and see how well they do over 6 months to a year, and then we offer them like a prop trading position where we give them some capital. But we are also we have very close relationships with banks and brokers, so we also do get rebates on the trades. So that is where
so it's like you have an IB or something like that.
Yes, we have an IB. So our prop traders trade on their own accounts. It's just with company money, and
how do you screen people after they take your course? You give them any kind of psychological tests? to see whether or not they're emotionally stable in a business that could create emotional instability?
Yes, we do.
How about drug tests?
No, we haven't done that one yet. But
Okay, you probably need to do that if you set up a shop in Amsterdam, huh? And now in the U.S. So it seems like you have all bases covered, and someone that wants to be a prop trader, this could be a way for them to go. And you get to meet all the people instead of them being just an internet relationship. You get to meet the people, press the flesh, and I can usually tell after someone talks to me for about 20 minutes whether or not they're going to blow up or not. So you probably have that same type of experience and intuitive skill. Am I correct?
yes, no, I know it. I also tend to spend a lot more time with people I know will make it, which is probably wrong with me, wrong because I need to give everyone the same amount of attention. But it's just sometimes just someone walks in and I know from the get-go this guy's going to make it, and I tend to give them a lot of attention. And the last one was 3 months ago. He started with his first company account as a prop trader.
Okay.
And yeah, it's not doing too bad because we don't have strict rules on how to trade. I know most prop positions you can't leave trades open for longer than 24 hours, and you need to have a set return on investment, and so we kind of give them a lot of leeway, but we also monitor their accounts. So I look at exactly what trades they take and why they took them, and if I see stuff, if I see it's going downhill, then we always just say we have to review.
Okay, Werner. Well, what's your most precious currency?
I trade mostly the euro and the pound and the US dollar. That's the three I trade the most.
All right, now my most precious currency is time, because pips come and go and time is gone forever, but you're still young.
Yeah.
You might see it that way later. So I want to thank you for spending some of your precious currency with us today and talking to us about your course. And very interesting. I guarantee you there's going to be people searching for FX brokers so that they could hold long-term positions and trade against them with shorter time frames. I think that's a real edge. And I want to thank you, Werner. It's a pleasure meeting you, and wish you a great fall trading season. May pips rain down on you and your mentees.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you for taking your time with me as well and letting me tell my story.
Glad to know you, Werner.
Thanks. You too.
All right, good hunting, buddy.
Okay, cheers.
Werner Reichart at the Bank Trader. It has a very intense course, and it could lead to becoming a prop trader. Check them out. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Everyone doing okay? You guys enjoy Werner? So we're getting the turnaround Tuesday, aren't we? Getting that turnaround Tuesday in the S&Ps. S&P's now up 12. They were up 15. Yen is trying. Euro nothing. Pound nothing. Canada following through to the downside. Let's see what Rob Kane's saying about the euro. Thank you, Paul. I've done 1 million of these. I got 1 million of them, Mr. Volker. Here's Rob Kane's Kane lines. So 1225 was important yesterday, I believe, and we're trading right there. 1180 is the number, and we went right there, 1180. Thank you, Rob Kane. Everyone thank Rob for his 4-hour Euro look and his Kane lines. Take a picture. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Rob. Everyone doing okay? So it looks like CAD went right to Jax's pivot. Is that correct? Correct, Jax? We went right to your pivot here. 33.70 and held. Maybe we'll get one more rally attempt to 34.60, Rick's number. Thank you, Rick. Does anyone in here do what Werner does or has a broker that allows them to do that? Rick, can you do that? You're not in the U.S. We have a lot of people in here not in the U.S. That's pretty good flexibility to be able to trade different time frames like Werner does. First guy I've talked to that does that. I think that could really change your perspective on being able to sit with positions and not have to get out, but yet have a trade on the other way. Okay, veteran. So we have around 10, 15 minutes left of our session here. Okay, you guys could do it, huh? Jax, you're in the U.S. Who do you trade through? Who lets you do it in the U.S.? We'll give them a plug. Okay, so there's a good account. There's a good idea. So you could have 2 Forex accounts. Okay. Oh, I see. All right. I found a way around it. You could have 2 separate accounts. Canada acting heavy. Was this it in the end? We got to get above this 2020 level. Even if you have 2 separate accounts, how about being at 2 different brokers? That's ridiculous. It's illegal, huh? Okay. I'm not encouraging anyone to do that. where you could be long and short. Okay, Rick, thanks, buddy. Everyone thank Rick for all his great contributions today. Thank you, Rick. See you tomorrow, buddy. Everyone thank Ricardo for all his great looks today. So much for this yen rally. So we have a pretty good point of reference. I think if the yen gets back over 2020, it's okay. It looks like it's going to sell off again. Canada heavy, though. WTI trying to come out of here. Just a little bounce in gold. I'm not convinced. Okay. All right. We don't want to talk about this anymore. Thank you, Rob. So who enjoyed hanging out with me today? Give me a why. I enjoyed hanging out with me. Anyone else enjoy hanging out with me today? Besides me? I think we helped up here in the Canada and the yen. That guy Pinkert. So I'm the only one who liked hanging out with me today, huh? Okay. Yen's failing. Got to get through 2020. Tough call. Yeah. How about a song, everybody? How about a song? We don't have as much freedom here in the USA. Just yesterday, we used to have a selection of brokers, but now there's only 4. There will never be more. Where is our freedom to trade so we could be short and long the same day? Why can't we do what Europe does? 'Cause we are the old USA. Those are my thoughts. Makes me feel like playing Richie Havens' Freedom. Freedom. We're losing our freedoms. Martin Armstrong talks about it. Get ready. People are now having difficulty flying around with gold and silver coins, especially gold, as we enter the age of already in the age of Big Brother. George Orwell must be doing cartwheels. Aldous Huxley must be doing cartwheels. I'm not. Well, guys, remember, there's more to life than money. When it's all said and done, we're not going to be. No, I'm not tonight, Rob. I am a singer, SMT. But I'm more of an Elvis singer. Here, SMT, this is for you. Yeah, that's a good idea. Pretty heavy to carry around. What do you buy? The junk silver, Rob? Junk silver? Silver coin bags? Ba 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 boo. Ba 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 boo. See you, veteran. So I've had it for today. How about you guys? So Mauricio, I'm going to go with a wrap up now. Okay. So starting off with Euro USD, we held pretty important support here around 112. Under 112, Euro becomes vulnerable for a test of 111.30. Otherwise, we're going to most likely make a move back up to above from last week. This high right here, head up towards 13.5. I am ultimately looking for a test of this trend line and for it to be broken. Pound's still not ready in my view. Looking for lower levels and one more flush out low, maybe 150, 50. RSI has to stay above 30. US dollar yen made a graveyard save today at the triangle. We now need to clear 2020 for the continuation of the move. Under last night's low, risk off will come in real big time, but I still hold out belief that there's potential as long as this holds, that we could be looking at a 123 US dollar yen. Have something like this from here, eventually break out to give us 123. That would be a pretty tremendous recovery in the S&Ps. S&Ps first have to recapture the 1900 level. Euro pound's getting stretched. I see divergence there, and USD CAD is in a topping mode. Perhaps another rally attempt towards 34.40, 34.60. I think we're in a topping mode there. And that's what I see. I want to thank everyone for their contributions today. I'm not seeing everyone listed. I want to thank Rob and Ricardo and John and Fab and SMT and Veteran and Jax. I want to thank everyone for their contributions today. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. We're only a couple of days. Well, tomorrow's Wednesday. Then we have the NFP on Friday. So good hunting the rest of the day, everybody. Thank you for all of your contributions. If Laura's supporting you, you can support our sponsor, FX Pro, if you're a non-U.S. resident. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. So as Perry Como says, if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. Adios. See you, Paul. See everyone tomorrow. Arrivederci, ciao, shalom, inshallah. Thank you, everyone. It was great hanging out with you today. Let's do it again tomorrow. Let's keep the good momentum going. Thank you, my trading warrior brothers and sisters. Adios.